What's up? It's Chris from StonefoxMedia, and I hope everyone's having a blessed day. Now, granted, it's been a rough couple of days, okay? We still don't have any furniture because our pod unit, they canceled our order. And so now it's cutting pretty close to Thanksgiving where we will actually have furniture. So right now we're on the floor, okay? So it was supposed to be here a while ago, but it's gonna get here whenever it gets here. So glory to God, we got a really nice home, but at the same time, on the floor is kind of brutal on your back. And I have no computer except for my laptop. It is not as powerful as, say, my big computer, which could actually process a whole lot of stuff. But again, that's not why I'm making this video. See, I'm making this video because even throughout this whole entire process, I've been following gaming news very closely. I know about all the things that's going on right now because it's my job to know. But what I saw a couple hours ago disturbed me greatly. You see, Sony is skipping E3 2019. Okay, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, so I'm going to read to you their statement that they made when they said in a statement that PlayStation fans mean the world to us and we will always want to innovate and think differently and experiment with new ways to delight gamers. As a result, we have decided not to participate in E3 2019. We are exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community in 2019 and can't wait to share our plans with you. Well, I get it. I understand. It's all good now. Everything makes sense. Thank you very much, son. Actually, no. Nothing that you just said just makes any sense at all. I am not cool with it. This is the Super Bowl of gaming. This is the NBA championship of gaming. This is the FIFA of gaming. Okay. I don't understand in my mind why you would skip it. Have a degraded presence, maybe? Even Nintendo shows up. They're basically saying they're not showing up at all. They're not having a booth. They're not having cheese and crackers. They're not having video games. Nothing. They're just not going to be there. They're just control alt delete. They're going to ghost it. Swipe left. That's what's happening to E3. Now Nintendo has already done it. Now Sony is doing it, so you know Microsoft has to do it next. And I know they've been contemplating doing something like that very similar. I don't understand the logic of them trying to create their own thing. They already have their own thing. It's the PlayStation experience. That's their second E3. So why skip this one? Isn't this supposed to be the year that the PlayStation 5 is announced, like next year? I don't understand why they wouldn't want E3, the biggest gaming platform on earth, to do it. So they basically said we don't want to do it anymore. And I can't get, I just can't get with it. This is very distressing news. How are they going to announce it? And if that, what they're saying right here in their statement is that they plan on sharing their plans with us, which means they canceled the PlayStation Experience this year. They're not doing E3 next year. What are you doing? Are you doing one thing next year? Why not do it? Do it at E3. I don't understand. I can't understand. So E3 is dead now because if they're skipping this one, and they're probably going to skip the next one, and everyone, you see this throughout the industry how everyone is trying to do their own thing now, like Bethesda, EA. They're all trying to create their own little bootleg E3s. So that's what they're doing. They're basically just going to ditch E3. E3 is dead. Okay, stick a nail in it. It's done. It's dead. It's dead. There's no reason to watch it. Everyone's gonna be doing their own thing. So I don't like it. I like everything being done at one time. It's just awesome. And then now they want to take it that away. They give it and then take it that all away from all of us. I'm running out of ethics, but that's the ethics I have. So we might hear about PlayStation 5 whenever they decide that they want to tell us how they're going to tell us. We thought E3 was going to be when they tell us, but they just script the flip and decided that they're going to do whatever they want to do. Okay, let's not panic. Sony probably has some type of plan. They probably want to announce something early next year and probably get it out next year. Okay, so E3 is mid-year. That's a little late in terms of the time frame in which you want to release a console. If you announce it in June, then it's going to be kind of rough to try and get it out there and get enough press about it before, say, October, November, when people start buying these kind of cool gifts. So I'm gonna bet that it may be what, second quarter next year. That would be plenty of time if they plan on releasing it next year. But if they're basically saying that they have no games to show at the PlayStation Experience this year, and then next year they won't have E3. If they plan on releasing PlayStation 5 in 2020, then they basically have no more games left for the PlayStation 4. So that's another thing to take away from this. If they don't have anything to show at the PlayStation Experience this year, and they don't have E3 next year, and they don't have a PlayStation Experience next year, that's it. No more games for the PlayStation 4. That's it. Third parties, that's it. They're gonna do pull a Microsoft, but Microsoft is not doing it voluntarily. I know they got cracked down. I'm sorry, I just could not resist. I could not resist. But you think Microsoft is going to follow suit as well. So I just want to give you guys my personal opinion on it. I am not happy with it. I don't like the decision. I think that they need to come up with something really quick and let everybody know what their plan is. They can't wait till E3 and just be like, we're not here. We're not going to say anything. You can't do that. I don't want to see a PlayStation treehouse. Just my stomach. My stomach hurts. My stomach hurts. And speaking of other PlayStation news right now, it does look like Sony did file a patent for a touchscreen equipped PlayStation controller. So, originally everyone thought that PlayStation might do like that center part of the controller was going to be like a touchscreen, and they didn't do it. They did like a touchpad. Well, it looks like they did file a patent for an actual touchscreen to be inside of it. I don't know why they would do that. Maybe for the PlayStation 5, maybe they'll actually have a screen in it. But I don't like the idea of having maybe a touchscreen in it anymore. I guess it's a little played out to me. And having it down there, why would you even look at it? Unless it has some really cool features where you can do like a digital touch version of like switching up your loadout or something like that. It's like playing a Call of Duty game or something like that. If you could do that from the controller, that would be exceptional because then you don't have to back out of the screen and then go do that stuff. But either way, you still have to look away from the screen to look at your controller, so you're basically gonna get shot while you're looking at your controller anyway. So I guess it's really no much of a point in doing it. But I mean, it might be a cool thing. You never know what kind of innovative things they might come up with it. I mean, it might be just as innovative as like I don't know, not doing E3 next year. I'm sorry, I'm not over it. Not over it. And in my final bit of gaming news, this is some bad news. It's just all around not great news. Looks like Nintendo will not be releasing a Nintendo 64 Classic anytime soon. So we originally thought with the NES Classic and the Super Nintendo Classic that the N64 Classic was just on the way. It had to be, right? Well, they filed a patent for it and they did all the stuff, but they just said we're not doing it. So Reggie decided to come out here and say that there was a very strategic reason why they announced the NES Classic edition. Basically, everything was supposed to be a gap between the end of the Wii U and the start of the Nintendo Switch, and then they busted out the Super Nintendo Classic Edition. But basically, as of right now, they have no plans on releasing it right now. Okay, so Nintendo basically said that they are going to be focusing on their Nintendo Online subscription service, and that's what they're going to be doing. They're not discounting the ability of them actually making a Nintendo 64 Classic Edition. They're just not doing it right now. So outside of that, we might not get a Nintendo 64 Classic Edition. I want to say that maybe they did have plans on doing one, but then Sony announced that PlayStation 1 Classic Edition, and they're like, let's let them have this one, and we'll skip this one and probably do something else just because we don't want to get clobbered by this thing. So since they don't want to deal with the competition, they'll probably just release one next year and probably have a better catalog of games. I know outside of GoldenEye and Mario 64, and not Castlevania. That wasn't very good for Nintendo 64. But I mean, they have a good catalog of games, but maybe they'll get a little bit better time to come up with some more stuff. I personally think that it has something to do with their online subscription and the fact that the PlayStation Classic Edition is coming out and they just don't want to deal with it. So I think that it's probably going to be better and not getting cussed out by all the people saying, it's this shortage, it's a shortage of Nintendo 64s, and they just don't want to deal with it right now. That's basically what's going on. They don't want to deal with it like Sony doesn't want to deal with the PlayStation experience, and they want to deal with the lovely E3 of 2019. Not over it, everybody. I'm not over it. I'm not know why would you do this. I don't understand. I don't understand. Well, that's all the news I got for you guys right now. Like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, as soon as my news becomes available. Thank you guys for watching. God bless, and I'll holler at y'all later.